And let's go.
Hey everybody, welcome back. This is X is for Show, your premium media response show where, of course, tonight we are talking some phenomenal Drag Race queens, taking a look at the All-Star cast of Season 10. I'm Nico. You guys can check me out at Nico Action, NICO.
I'm TK. You can find me at TK Accidental.
And I'm Tori. You can find me at SM Tori. That's Tori with an I.
Hey everyone, it's Jonah. You can follow me places at Peak Jonah.
That makes me your producer, KEVO. You can find me at KEVO. Really make sure to like, subscribe, and comment so that we know what you want us to cover in the future. This weekend, we're going to be covering Thunderbolt, so that's pretty exciting. We've got Eurovision coming up next month, probably, so that'll be really cool. But as for right now, we are covering the excitement that is All-Stars Season 10, factoring in as well the excitement of our own Drag Race draft game and how our math might predict the future.
So, all right. We've been playing, number one, Andrew totally calling that Tori is looking absolutely like a killer snack tonight. So we decided a couple of months ago that we were going to put together a Drag Race draft. We were going to use the actual episodes to give everybody scores and then kind of build out a season and make teams and then put the girls up against each other, and then one team might win, and that's literally what RuPaul stole from us. So we came up with Season 10 first. We've been playing it all season, and so many of you have been checking out our Draft Race draft. We are so glad that you guys have been checking it out, but we actually have the numbers. We have the data to say how these girls did. And one of the
tippity tap after Season 17 ended.
Right? And one of the data things that we're looking at is the fact that some of these girls, they have never had a chance to show what we've ranked into charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. So whether it's you love what that girl gives in charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent, or you know what you want to see, we're going to be talking about how we feel about these girls and their charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent.
Yeah. Maybe even their lip sync skills, because at least all these gals have lip synced before.
Yeah, that is something, because that is almost the great unifier, right? Everybody kind of has to lip sync at one point or another. Even Nymphia and Bianca, snuck in a lip sync as necessary. But yeah, that's true, because some of these girls were pre-Rusical, some of these girls are no one is pre-Snatch Game, but you can be kind of you can leave before the Snatch Game, so you can be pre-Snatch Game girls.
You can.
And so that's sort of how we so when we created this back in January, we started having these ideas in December, we started debuting it, we started doing the whole thing. What we basically did was we went to the Drag Race Wiki and we looked up what all of the challenges were. And then we basically said there's essentially 12 archetypes of challenges, and we divided them up into charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. And then based on how each girl did, if they landed in the bottom for that challenge, they got 1 point. If they were safe, they got 2. If they won, they got 3. And so kind of added up all of those points. Now, some girls have a lot of points compared to even girls who made it to their finale because they were also on All-Stars. And some of them were on multiple All-Stars. So some of them have a lot more points than the others. You just sort of have to think about the fact that they were on basically almost double what even Bosco was doing on the longest season ever.
And, it's in that range that I'm George's Ginger, you guys are going to be the Waldorf and Statler of this piece, because you guys have been appearing in the seats for so long. It's just a matter of time before the comes in. Because some of these girls, they're on some of these girls are on their All-Stars of All-Stars. It's too many. It's too many.
For sure. And how has it been for our longest watching people like TK and Jonah? How does it feel to see all of these stats together? Does it feel right? Does it feel weird? Do you feel that they accurately reflect what the queens have done?
I'm still praying on it because as we have discussed, I picked the girls that I wanted, that I liked. I did not go by numbers. And some of them, I was really shocked that the numbers were so low, but it makes total sense. Like when you have to break it down like that, Bob's season was just really short, and it's early on in the show's process. So there were things that they just did not do, even at season 8, that they do now that, you can kind of evaluate for certain things. But I feel confident that Bob would slay a lot of those challenges, and so the numbers should be higher, but there's literally no empirical proof. And maybe I'm wrong, you know what I mean? Like, also maybe Bob had a bad week that week and just would tank the whatever the challenge is.
Yeah. Like, especially for Bob, who his season did not have a roast or a stand-up challenge at all, which are his values.
Right, literally he's a professional stand-up comedian.
Exactly. So that score in that category is actually a big old 0 for him, just because there's nothing going on for her these days. And so it's disingenuous to who the queen is, but it's unfortunately the most egalitarian way of doing this.
So that's where I get a little stuck. And I love that, we're trying this out and playing this game and like sort of playing around with things, because then that starts to get me into like, do we pull in factors? Like Bob is a great example. Bob is a professional stand-up comedian. So like, do we pull in Bob's out of show career in order to add points to get those stats right? Or, is there a way for handicapping based on the fact that some seasons just had different stuff? I don't know. I don't always know the answer. The other thing is, we're doing a tier maker for this that is based on these same things: charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. And some girls have scores in one of those categories where I'm like, okay, but that's not who that girl is to me. Like, this is a girl with a huge charisma score, but I think she's terrible when it comes to charisma. I think she's got nerve up the wazoo. And so, I think that's an interesting aspect of things. Sometimes what shines through in your character, and I mean that as, the character that these people play, what shines through of that character is different from how they'll be successful doing challenges and doing, missions on the show.
Jonah, talk to me. What are you thinking as like one of our resident old men? How are you feeling about going into this with some of these girls, with the distance they've had and the fact that we know some of them so much better outside of this?
Yeah, and something I want to add to what TK is saying, we're basing it based off the show, and something that, isn't always fully taken into account is some people are placed in the top and the bottom based off production decisions, where someone might do a little bit better that we feel, or some might do a little bit worse, but because their storyline is important to that episode, they're not in the top or the bottom. And so sometimes you have people who nail a challenge and do great, but because they weren't, someone might have done better, or for story reasons someone was placed there, well, then that might not be a full reflection in the score. But I do appreciate the very empirical nature of it all, of like, we're just objectively going off of the challenge given and how the show rated it. And it is, the most diplomatic way of it all. But yeah, I'm excited to see how all these people do. I think there's a good mix of people from old school to new school, all, the golden silver age to the platinum age of today, people who were eliminated early, people who were eliminated mid. Like, there's a very wide range of people. And I'm excited to have that everybody is going to get a set number of episodes to be able to show things, because you feel bad for a performer to be like, oh, I would have done great that challenge, but I just didn't make it there. That isn't as much shouldn't be as much of a problem, because I imagine, I don't know anything going into this, but I imagine we're going to get like some archetype of those first 3, where maybe everyone's going to do a design challenge. So if you're a great seamstress and a great designer, you'll have a challenge for that. I imagine there might be a talent show or a dance number or something where it's like, oh, like I'm excited that everybody will have objective data for us to look at and go, here's your opportunity. You don't have to worry about going home. You're going to get a set number of episodes till where you don't have to really think about that. You can just do your best.
That's like the best way to really reflect how I'm feeling about this middle ground between, because like I feel really bad, but like not every girl is a make it to the end of All Stars girl. Not every girl has a look for every challenge. But so many of these girls do have 4 out of 5. And so like getting a chance to see these girls 4 out of 5, it is so cool, because this is not a challenge of how talented are you. It's a challenge of how talented are you at hitting ruse marks. And, these girls have got it all. And that's why we're not here to give any girls S, A, B, C, D. It's not about that. It's about what they're, what we see and how excited they make us. And that's what we're talking about. Did anybody have anything before we jump into our tier maker and start talking about these girls?
I think the thing I found most interesting while I was making these, and as I was thinking about it in regards to our game, I love seeing girls get opportunities to come back and perform more, because, like you already said, but just to really emphasize and agree, a lot of these girls don't have amazing stats for as great as we think they can be. I was talking about how hot I found Alyssa, and then I saw her stats, and I was like, damn, that sucks for her. So this is an opportunity for these girls to come back and show what they have, update their, RuPaul's Drag Race profile, so to speak, and remind people what they're up to. And so I think that is one of the things that's really cool about All Stars, and it's one of the things that's really cool about our game, the way that it makes us consider this mathematically and see which girls we thought didn't do as well did well, and what girls we remember better could use the opportunity.
And that is something I saw on I saw somewhere on Reddit. Somebody was like, does anybody even remember the princess? Why does no one talk about the princess? And I wanted to be like, baby, there's like 100 girls nobody talks about, because there are so many 1, 2, 3rd, 4th outs that, like, I had to think about Phoenix. Conveniently, finally, bitch rose again. But if she hadn't, I would have been like, where's the namesake, mama?
For sure.
And I actually think that there's we're coming around now in value to saturation, because for a long time we were at this point where, and it's even something that has been spoken of on the show a lot, like there's this divide between Rue girls and local girls, and the Rue girls are special because they're an elite force that got chosen for this show. And if you find out that there's a Rue girl coming to town at your local venue, maybe you'll go, but then you won't go any other time because you don't care about the local girls. You want to see the celebrities. Well, now there's so many girls that the saturation has sort of come around where any Rue girl coming to your bar can help bring things up. But Princess is a great example. I mean, people aren't the way they freak out for Katya. Nobody is there's a much smaller slice of people who are I gotta get to the princess show. But she can certainly lift up a show. She can totally perform. She has that credit on her resume, and she can sort of help bind together a community, be sort of a tent pole in a drag show. So because there are now hundreds of Rue girls, rather than at first tens and then dozens, when we factor in the international seasons, we've got hundreds of girls. There's a tier, there's a caste system, and obviously what it costs to get a girl there is a factor as well. But there's a lot of really fantastic girls who are maybe not as in the spotlight and not as popular, but are still such a big draw that can still really connect with girls in their communities and sort of bridge that gap. So it's not just let's go see the celebrities versus, my local queen is whoever.
Dude, and that is something that, honestly, I have come to find that there is no city that has drag exactly like any other city. And we've been exploring so much Philly drag lately. And I feel like I'm all about that math on it, how it's unique to each area, each city, each girl. The drag is so custom. It's all almost it's almost unique to see how it's transformed along the last couple of years. Because something that I also think about is like Dylan Lanterman. I see you say Aja lip syncs -2, Mama, but Mama, those are the numbers.
It's the math. I highlighted that comment too. Yeah, I love that. Again, why I love the All-Stars. Let's get that number up. Because
And of note, this is specifically just talking about the show. Aja in specific is a phenomenal performer. She knows how to dance. She knows how to perform.
Bar none.
Not reflective of real world talent or ability. It is strictly
none of these are judgments that we made on.
No,
they're literally
Rue made them.
Blame Rue. Blame Mom.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Give me 0.2 seconds and I'll be able to pull up season 9 Aja. She lip synced twice. So she had one where she won, one where she was eliminated. So those cancel each other out. And then when we get to her All-Stars, I believe she was on one of the seasons where you lip sync to choose someone to go home. And I am just doing great at figuring out where she is in here. Aha! So she had in season 3 of All Stars, she lip sync for the win once and lost. She was an assassin and lost. And so that's -2 there. And so that's kind of how we got to the -2 number. Yes, she has won a lip sync, but she has lost 2 others inside of the show.
And while we're hitting those numbers, I just want to say, when we're talking about some of these categories, charisma reflects your girl groups, your acting and adverts, as well as any finale crown performances. Your uniqueness is your design, your ball, and your makeovers. Your nerve is your group improv, your stand-up, and your choreo lollapaloozas. And your talent is videos, talent shows, singing, musicals, and snatch games. So, we really did try to Tori really did try to make it all logical, and I said whatever she said.
Nico came in, he was like, I think it should be this. I did this, all of that good stuff.
So we have Aja won her assassin lip sync against Kahana. I love it. We'll double check our numbers and we'll double check our stuff. Love having information brought up because, honestly, there's something KEVO was bringing up. There's been 100 episodes of All Stars as of this season.
At the end, by the end of this season.
And so, you really do wind up with a lot of data. You got to double check, double reference. Everybody knows that Aja is the fucking queen, the mama, the everything. She is a dancer tour de force, a performer bar none. No one is ever saying anybody is untalented any more than anybody is saying that Bianca Del Rio is the best lip sync performer of the season simply because she won. She's a lot of brilliant things, but that is, unfair to say to all of the other incredible girls from her season. But do we want to jump into the game?
For sure. Right. For sure.
So we have a tier maker link so everybody can vote along with how you feel because, again, we're playing, we're having a good time, and we can't wait to talk about this with all of you. So we're going to kick things off with none other than Mama Aja herself. If we're going by what we said earlier, where charisma is what you might do for a finale crown, for example, I would love to see Aja go all the way. I would love to see what Aja can do in a final run when she gets to the end. For me, Aja is finale. She is crown. And so I want to see what Aja can do when she can go all the way.
So what is that? What are you ranking her?
I'm giving her charisma.
Okay.
That's what I want to see. That's what I think of when I think of Aja. I think of a girl who knows how to tear that stage up like no one else.
I'm going with uniqueness for Aja. When I look at some of the challenges that uniqueness represents, that's really her thing. That's really where she's done well. Ball challenges are a great place for her. For me, I don't react well to Aja's particular brand of charisma. Not to say that it's not there. She'd be very close with Nerve, because it do take Nerve. She has it. I love her. And talent, talent is the toughest one because all these girls are so talented. It just sort of becomes the girls that rise even to the top of a top thing. And so, in this case, I think she, for me, is all uniqueness.
I know for me, I placed her on Nerve. I think that Aja is one of those queens that really does represent a lot of the nerve that it takes to get up there and stand in your strength and perform the house down boots, etc. So for me, he represents Nerve.
What you thinking, JoJo?
Oh, I put her in charisma. When we're talking about it, I really enjoy the way that Aja performs. I think she's very explosive. I would love to see how her getting into the ballroom scene has affected the way that she performs. And truthfully, she's just she's a great performer and a great dancer. So it just makes me very excited.
Kevo, where do you land on Aja? Do you land all the way on the floor in a split as though your pussy could just smash the floor so hard off a box?
I think I'm going to go with Nerve because for me, for Aja, I always go to the big moment. And it did take Nerve to give that speech that many of us quote every single day of our lives. So, gonna go with Nerve for Aja.
I love that. And we want to hear what everybody has to say. Guys, don't forget to vote. Speaking of, do not forget to vote. When you're voting, I want to talk about a gal who has literally gone round the sun and become a totally different kind of performer. Having gotten to see her at the live show, she is nothing like the performer she was on the show, where she was like S tier. Now she's S plus. She's a different person with so much more to give. For me, I want to see Bosco shine talent. I want to see the singing, the rusical, the video, the talent show. I want to see who she's become now that she's had a chance to be the performer she wants. Bosco screams talent for me.
For me, I think it's all about charisma. I think she is one of those girls who I'm always so excited when it cuts back to her talking head. And I really connect with her.
Yeah, I think there's so much to her charisma that I really do enjoy, but I actually had placed her down for uniqueness. I feel like there was parts of Bosco that she sort of just like dimmed a little bit to be palatable to more people, and I want to see her really like show up and show out the way that I've been hearing about lately.
What you got, Jonah?
For me, it's Nerve all the way, baby. It do take Nerve. She's one of the shadiest people. I think she's one of the funniest people ever, and I'm excited to see her shred everybody else on the cast. I love that she has some new targets.
Ooh.
I think then for that reason, I am going to lean more toward charisma because I am excited to see how she will channel that energy through her attitude.
And it's really funny because we were just talking about how for all of us, we bring the knowledge of these characters, not the performers, the characters from the show. And then we bring the knowledge of the performer from real life and how we sort of merge them together. And in my head, I'm sort of sitting here going, whatever, I don't think I do that. I don't think I do that. And I'm like, but have you guys seen Bosco in the Vegas show? And so like, I'm literally instantly doing it and I'm attached to the real person now. it's so fascinating how this really is like, it's sports in so many ways. Where, my dad thinks that he really like has a personal relationship with everybody in his fantasy draft. Speaking of people I could have a personal relationship with in this fantasy draft, I feel like Deja Sky and I would be buddies. We would have a good time talking shit. She is fashioned out for the gods in this. I love the way she looks. This is she is just truly living what if one of the Powerpuff Girls was in Alan Moore's Twilight of the Gods here. This is everything to me. I think she looks phenomenal. I'm so happy for her that she's grown so much in so little time, because like this is only a few years later and she really does feel like somebody who's so much happier in her skin. For that reason alone, while normally I'm going to try to vote based exclusively on the categories, there is a level to which part of me does just want to give her the vote for uniqueness. Her personal makeover into somebody so much more confident about her talent shines through in what little we got, and I'm so happy for her.
She was uniquely the only person who did well on her Snatch game.
Yeah!
I gave her Nerve because she is so funny and so effortlessly funny and brings comedy into everything that she does. I'm actually really excited for All Stars because I think she's going to be bringing a lot of, it looks like she's going to be bringing a lot of glamour and beauty. And it's not that she wasn't beautiful before, it just kind of, it felt like the focus was more on being really funny and being a really strong personality. And I think where, your first time on the show, that kind of takes some effort. After all this time, that's like second nature to her, and she might be bringing some new tricks in. But from what we've had so far, from what I love for her, I went with Nerve.
Yeah, and as much as I enjoy her humor so much, I think so much of her joy is what I really more resonate with. And so I went with charisma for Deja Sky. I just think that I really enjoyed when she stopped by the pit stop or when I've caught one of her YouTube videos. I've just been very interested in everything that she brings to the table, the joy, the passion, the excitement. And so that's what I'm excited to see.
For me, I put her in talent. I think she's a great performer. I got to see her live. She's really magical when it comes to the way that she performs, and she's very captivating. In the first episode, Rue called her a lip sync assassin, and I think that's pretty fantastic. And really speaks to her talent to really connect with a song. So I'm excited to see what she brings in that capacity.
I get that, but I also loved TK's point about her comedy, which I am very excited to see more of her from. In her goddamn, her confessional image, she looks like a 1990s sitcom neighbor. So, even in her personal style. So I am gonna go with the Nerve.
Gee, here's someone we've never talked about, despite the fact that they were only in 2 episodes. She's eliminated so fast. We never get to fall in love with her. She's got some sassy rejoiners in her reunion. She's so great. Irene, if there's something I do want from you, it's Nerve. I want to see you get a chance to be the absolute screaming bitch you've promised you are, and I can see you are. There's nothing about you that I don't want to see come through in Nerve.
I went with Uniqueness because, man, she really is unique. There's nobody like Irene. I corrected you on your language about this last time, but like, what's so funny about Irene, we didn't get a chance to spend any time with her, but in the one episode we got, we all did fall in love with her. Like, it was, it's crazy how much for having just one episode, this queen of all the many who have gone home first, really, so many people were just like bummed that we didn't get that chance to spend any time with her because we fell in love with her immediately. I think she has charisma. I think she has nerve. I think she has talent. All of those things in spades. What she has more than all of them for me is that uniqueness. There's just, to me, nobody like Irene the Alien. I'm so stoked that she's coming back.
Yeah, I placed talent a little bit as the joke, but a little bit because I kind of want to see everything out of her, and for me, then that sort of transmutates into I want to see that level of talent. I want to see that level of polish. I want to see that burning that exists inside of these queens, and I'm super excited to see that with her because it is true. I really was very surprised how much I enjoyed this queen on so little screen time.
I also put her in uniqueness, her makeup, her style, everything about her lends herself to, I think, someone who really would deliver. I really love what she brought for the ball for season 15, and I'm, sad we didn't get to see it on the main stage. So I would be really excited to see what she brings in that capacity. She's somebody who I think does represent this very unique angle. I don't know how many people are actually trying to be an alien. We got Alaska, who's, from the planet Glamtron. But Irene is an actual alien. So let's see how this works out.
Ooh.
I think for me, everyone makes really great points. Irene was my first, and NICO's too, but speaking for myself, it was my first pork chop from a live season. So she made an enormous impression for that reason. And for that reason, I think I want to go with charisma because I feel like that is what everything about her limited appearance making such an impression said to me. It said charisma.
And that's one of the things that's so interesting because there are girls that got to their finales that I don't think I have as many opinions on as Irene. So like, it's always so interesting when you think about it that way. I do actually, I can't believe I meant to start the episode with this, but I worked until like 35 minutes before we started the episode, and like my brain was all over the place. But obviously we will have a much more thorough conversation about all of the incredible queens we've lost. I think Jiggly just sort of proves you don't need to get to the end of your season to have literally changed the scope of drag queen history, to be a recurring character on Pose, to have accomplished so much in your life, to have been an all-star, to have been a judge, to have been a SAG card-carrying member of the Actors Union, to have changed the world the way you did. I would like to, really take a minute to not just talk about Viv and Jiggly at some point, not tonight, but I would like to have the data and the numbers because there are so many queens we've lost from non-English primary speaking editions of Drag Race that don't make this list. There are people who, matter to. And Jiggly, thank you so much. And to your family, thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to talk about people we love in this way. And being so brave in public. Really, didn't make it to the end of your season, but what a queen. So can't wait to talk more about her in the near future. I do also want to just kind of, say that with these people being real people, Katy Perry recently said that people are taking whacks at her like she's a human piñata. And to that I say, Katy Perry has sort of chosen not to be a human being and has launched herself into space. We can Jeff Bezos her, you know what I mean? These queens are real people, and these queens are so delicate and gentle. And I don't know that there are a whole lot of people who represent that sort of careful gentleness, that softness, the way Olivia Lux does. She is so sweet. She is a bubble bath and champagne, and she is just so beautiful and charismatic. And when I think about what Olivia Lux brings to the table, I think for me, it actually kind of is that she's just so beautiful and so lovely. I am here for her uniqueness, though I am ready for anybody to say, they are here for other things as well.
You just said something, I think you said you have more opinions about Irene than you have about girls who have gotten to the end of their season. That's sort of how I feel about Olivia. I don't know, man. I try so hard. I know it's a me thing. She is not doing anything wrong. You do not get the kind of following that she has if you are not checking all the boxes. But I don't know. I went with talent because I do think she has a really fantastic singing voice, and I know that was a big part of her package in her season. I'll be interested to see if she brings more of that. But yeah, great queen. I especially noticed the talent with her.
Yeah, for me, it's about that charisma, that smile, that bubbliness, that joy. I love everything about it, and I think that she is just going to be such a force, and I'm so excited to watch it happen.
For me, it's Uniqueness. I love this queen's eye for fashion, for design. She won Glam Slam, so I'm ready for her to bring it really to the runway. She made that promo look, which is spectacular. Her vision and the way that she views drag is so fascinating. So I'm really excited to see her be even more unique.
I keep forgetting, even though we are like the only people on the planet that watched Glam Slam, that Glam Slam happened, and then we watched Glam Slam, and that she was on it, and that she won, and that, yeah, exactly, she is so good at constructing garments. So yeah, I think for that reason, I am going to go with you, and I am going to go with Uniqueness for her.
And it's so interesting that, like, I know that Olivia is one of like your big girls, and so to hear TK, somebody who I respect the same opinion of, it's so interesting to hear how it falls so differently for people who lived it. I love that. Okay, so okay, here's where I have here's where NICO, this person, has feelings. Okay. There once was a gentleman named Lorne Michaels. And so he invented a show called Saturday Night, Check Your Facts. And he would go on to discover a lot of people. And one of the things that came out of it is the people he would discover people. And one of the things that I'm comparing here is that Saturday Night Live actually has a lot of properties that are similar to Drag Race, where the people who would leave Saturday Night Live would have epic careers special to other comedians. But then there are the people you don't remember were in season 13, right? And it's been on that long, right? One of the things that occurs to me is that Dana Carvey, after he left Saturday Night Live and ended his partnership with Mike Myers, had the Dana Carvey show, and one of his writers was Steve Carell. The Dana Carvey show would fail. Steve Carell would literally be afraid he was going to lose his home. Steve Carell would later get minor bits on things like The Daily Show as a result of it. He would go on to be one of the most successful TV actors of all time. Period. And if you looked at his work on this spinoff of one guy from Saturday Night Live's stand-up, you would have never thought that. And I am not here to say that Phoenix was an early out in an early season, so she doesn't deserve anything. I'm here to say that maybe she's a Steve Carell. Maybe every one of these girls is a mermaid in those jeans of his with her name still on them. Hey, I don't care. So sometimes I'm going to give these girls the benefit of the doubt. And I'm going to say that I would love to see what Phoenix can do talent-wise. I think she has a lot to show. And I cannot believe that you let me go that long without a boo.
It's because I'm
Why?
I was booing. I'm just muted.
Wait, boo or boo earns? Never mind.
For me, I think this is going to be Nerve. Mostly because that is, I feel like, the most of what we have gotten to see from Phoenix with what little time we've had with her. And I was going to say it do take Nerve to show up in the same outfit as somebody else, but we have no idea who actually showed up in the outfit of somebody else.
But no, what happened?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, she gives me Nerve vibes, and also the bravery of coming back after all this time, being an older queen, being an older queen, period, like in age, being older, a veteran of the show, having done it so early. It takes nerve to come back and do all this.
Yes.
And so she got nerve, baby.
For sure. I'm kind of in the same boat. I think that it's about nerve because I think that for me, nerve has a lot of the it's not a lot of spread between the different challenges that fall under it, but I do think that it showcases different things. It showcases how quick-witted you are. It showcases how you can hold a room and tell jokes and get people on your side. It shows how you can work in a group. It shows if you got any rhythm. It shows if you can lip sync. Like, I think there's a lot in the nerve category. And so for me, although I do love the joke of saying I'd love to see your uniqueness because I physically could not remember which one was Venus and which one was Phoenix, I did go with nerve for her.
I said talent. I think her run on season 3 was a little bit short. Granted, everybody's run was going to be short because they were all next to Raja. I know that she's kind of like this pillar and in the Atlanta drag scene, so I'm really excited to kind of let her do her stuff. I went with talent because I want to know, I'm going to a Phoenix show. What am I getting? What is the bread and butter of Phoenix? And I want, I'm like almost in a way reserving talent for people who I think deserve to have full control of their narrative at something like the talent show. Something like showcasing, like, no, I'm a drag queen, I'm a performer, this, that, and the other. Let's go for it. So that's what I said. I want her to see her. I want her to be able to showcase her talent to the world.
Love it.
And you made me realize something when you said that. One of the things that I'm going to start considering when it comes to which I'm selecting is which challenges I didn't get to see from some of these girls. And of course, Snatch Game, singing and rusical, talent show. Talent is a biggie. And so, yeah, I think I'm also then going to go for talent from Phoenix, because that always excites me. And please, dear God, let the Snatch Game be good. How is it going to work? Are we going to get 3 different Snatch Games? I don't know.
Well, what I will say is I've gotten 3 different All-Stars from Georges. So, what? Right? Because what was her first All-Stars?
She was a lip sync assassin on All Stars 8.
And then she was on 9.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's on 10.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is technically her 4th appearing season, 3rd contestant season. And I'm never tired of Georges. But
No.
girl, you need a better job. You need a better job than fighting for scraps. When I see someone in an early production of Oliver and they do an unbelievable job saying, please, sir, I want some more. When they are 6 years older, I want them playing Fagin. I don't want Georges, this goddess of performance, this person I have seen and been blown away by live. I don't want to see her keep competing. I want to see her host her own fucking show. Like, I want to see her have drag fashion police, where her job is to help drag queens that are like, help me. I can't afford to do a good look on a budget. And she goes, girl, I'll help you. I'll come in. I'm smoking weed. You can smoke some weed with me. For that reason, my dream is to see the beautiful makeovers that she would be able to do. I just really love her, and I just don't know why she's here again, but I'm giving her uniqueness because I love her.
She's here because RuPaul loves her.
Me and Ru, I guess. We just love Latin bottoms. Also,
if she showed up and wanted to do the work, sure. I don't quite get why she wants to do it again. That's more than anything. I'm not sure what the appeal is for her. I don't know if it's there's so much that could be playing into this decision that we don't know about. It does seem weird to me that she is coming right back in after an All-Stars, but I'm not bummed to see her again. She is such a talented queen. She has such an interesting personality. You know, she's one I usually fall on this thing that I've said about queens in the past, where it's like I really am into their vibe or I'm really not into their vibe. And again, that's always a me thing. It's not a them thing. Georges is one who, like, episode to episode, season to season, I find myself reacting really differently to her. And I like that. I mean, I like that she mixes it up. I like that there are things about her that, you know, I sometimes find a little bit, you know, to be blunt, off-putting. And then other times she's doing the Megan number, and I just think she is the most talented, like, charismatic on stage, just absolutely cool person I know. She's tough. I want to put her in all the categories. I think ultimately I'm going to go with talent. And I will say, I think if she was going to have her own show, like, let's get real here, it would be called Ghost Puncher, and it would be her going into haunted houses and punching ghosts.
I'm going to smoke this weed and then punch that ghost.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I love it.
And then it's psychological. Are the ghosts real,
Right,
or
exactly.
Is it cloud?
The ghosts are regrets in this world.
Yeah. I also put Georges under talent. I just think that she's a hoot. I think she's a tiny Polly Pocket pop star, and I'm so excited for her to cruise in and show these hoes what it's about.
I put her under charisma because I was extremely captivated by her from her All-Stars 9 one. She wasn't really my, but I truly drank the hello juice. I think she's so phenomenal, so talented, and I just specifically wanted to see her do an actual girl group challenge. On All Stars 9, it was kind of combined with the makeover, and I still think she and Plastique should have won that. But I am really excited to see her, and she just makes good TV. She's a good time gal, and but I think that's another reason why she keeps getting invited back, why she's been on Drag Race every single year since her first casting on season 14. She's probably great to work with. Production probably loves working with her because she makes good TV, and like that's also part of it. Part of being able to get invited back to an All Stars is being able to work with the people around you a few times. And also, like, I know there's been a lot of, especially as we get to them, there's been a lot of like huffing and puffing I've seen of people being like, they're coming back again, and this is a steady paycheck and to be a chance to be on TV. This is also promotion, tours, you get to do interviews. There's plenty of things that come with going on another season. Also, why would you not want another chance to win the biggest title that you can for your career? Like, there are people who go on Top Chef multiple times. There are people who go on Big Brother and lose multiple times. Like,
can I ask you about, like, what about Kendrick not submitting for the Grammys because he no longer thinks getting somebody else's approval determines his success?
That's called Bob not wanting to go on All Stars.
Kendrick Lamar.
Or like Bob saying he wouldn't.
Here's the thing. If you've already won or you've already made your career, you don't need the approval of RuPaul or anybody else. And that is absolutely true. However, there are some people who want that. There's nothing wrong with wanting it, and there's nothing wrong with saying, I know what my career is. I'm happy with where I am. I'm happy on my own trajectory that I don't think I need to do it. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying some people get upset when people want the crown. Why would you not take every opportunity?
Oh, I'm gonna always submit for the Grammy. Please don't mistake. I wasn't saying I don't agree. I just,
I think people react sometimes like as if her being here is preventing someone else from being here. But guys, that's probably not the case. It's probably the opposite. She's here because she was wanted and welcome. And, she wanted to be here, obviously, or she wouldn't be here. A lot of girls just walk right off. So if she didn't want to be here, if they didn't want her here, if she wasn't easy to work with, she wouldn't be here, I think it's a weird thing to question. I think people questioned it because she was here last year. That's odd. But I think for a tournament of all-stars for season 10, I think it's kind of funny that we have a girl from last season.
Trust me, I'm going to have just as many picks. I'm going to get to it. I can't believe I am a Ginger Minge apologist at this point. People got to leave her alone. You are all too fucking mean to this poor woman. But we'll get to that in a minute. We are at a woman that I think is so illogically gorgeous. I think she is so beautiful, so talented, so... I love looking at pictures of her, and I think she's so beautiful and talented. I occasionally get a little worried about things Carrie Colby says. Occasionally a little bit. But I love her. I think she is absolutely amazing. One of the things about Carrie Colby is that she actually doesn't have a lot of nerve by score, but I think she got a lot of nerve by humanity being personness. So I'm going to give her nerve because I feel like she is an example of somebody where the score is not correct. TK, how you feel about Carrie Colby?
I think she is a charisma girl all the way. She's got that it factor just like her mother. She's another one too where I think, you know, for me, she kind of checks all the boxes. So it's just like, which one does she edge out a little bit more on? And for me, I think it's going to be charisma.
Yeah, I think I also put her down for charisma. I think that there's something to be said about someone who is so fully themselves that it makes others realize that they can become more fully themselves. And I think that exciting, and I'm very interested to see, you know, how that kind of figure in the room does with all the other gals.
I put her in charisma mostly because I want to see her demolish a girl group challenge. Not that she didn't have the opportunity already, but that was a specific type of girl group challenge that I still love that they did, but it wasn't specifically her gig. So I would be really excited for that. She is someone who I love that she just ran with the memes for being the trans Thanos, collecting them all. Another one, thank you. She's pretty great, and the face card never declines. So I'm really excited to see kind of her coming back with maybe some renewed vigor to fight for the crown.
Yeah, and she is another one that I think I'm going to go with talent, because there are so many amazing things that fall under talent that I feel like we were robbed, that I want to see a lot more from her. So yeah.
And, you know, it's so great to see so many like season 13, 14 girls come back, because, you know, I feel like we are always saying that nobody ever gets to come back. We're like, whoa, my God! Lydia, how can you possibly be back? You barely even have left us. You have never left, this bitch has never left my YouTube. And so when I think about the fact that Lydia had exactly enough time to find out that Lorde is going to be dropping a new album, evidently Jack Antonoff not on it. When I cannot stop being
Lydia B. Collins is young enough still that the amount of time that passed for her probably still feels like an incredibly long amount of time. So for her, it was an age, I'm sure.
And she recorded episodes of All Stars before she showed up for the Lollapalooza on her own season.
I don't know what to do with that.
And
she
but like
find out what it's like to be Hormona Lisa, because she got asked by RuPaul to be here 5 days before they started.
Do you think they'll emphasize it? Do you think they'll tell us when it happened?
Well, one of the things that I think is so fascinating is trying to overlap all of it. She did her season, which Mistress appeared in. Then she did All Stars with Mistress. Then she returns to do her Lollapalooza with her season. Like, and in all of this, she's dating the most famous cameo star ever. Corey, I watch a video game channel, and the guy is like,
Corey Toot.
The guy is like, if you want to book me for cameo, this is my name. And I'm like, bitch, you're not Corey King. Shut up. And so, like, it's just one of those things. Here's the thing about Lydia B. Collins. I think the world is hers. I think if she wins this crown, that's amazing. If she doesn't win this crown, that's amazing. I think Lydia is so talented, and I do believe her magic might be in her charisma.
I don't know. I have a little trouble connecting with Lydia. I was trying to figure out exactly where to place her. Ultimately, I went with talent because that feels unshakably obvious. She really is talented. She's great at a lot of things. Not knowing who David Lynch is or doing impressions of him, but other stuff definitely.
It is a drawer
No
full.
one's ever gonna let this die.
No,
Because for three of us,
he's
David Lynch
dead.
is the most
Yeah.
important person in the world.
Yeah.
because
I also realized
he's
she was doing David Duchovny. And I'm not sure what happened.
She was doing
Possi-
Lynch by way of
Possibly Chris Isaac.
Man, I really hope that she changes her impression or dies.
Yeah, exactly. Now that would be amazing. Doing David Duchovny, doing Denise.
Doing David Duchovny, doing Denise, doing the change her heart or die scene
Yeah,
would be so. It would be like triple meta conceptual.
yeah.
Federal
Anyway,
Bureau of
no matter what,
Investigation.
she's incredibly talented, incredible lip syncer, served some fantastic looks, can be very funny. So I went with talent.
For Miss Lydia, I chose nerve. I want to see her get into some group scenarios again and try to, in groups you kind of want to blend in but stand out at the same time. And I think that Lydia's got a lot of that standout, and I'm excited to see how she gels within a group. So for me, it's nerve. And I loved her stand up. I thought it was great. A roast.
I put her in talent because I think she's one of the secret lip sync assassins. She is the most unlikely candidate to be voted for a lip sync assassin, yet she truly knows how to really deliver on stage. Her lip sync with Corey is still, I think, one of the best lip syncs we've had with them making out. So I'm excited to see her perform in that capacity again. I'm smitten with the way that she knows how to captivate. Her way of doing Boogie Wonderland was truly like, she knew what she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, what I am excited to see from Lydia B. Collins is more of all this. She brings some really interesting garments and style. And now that she has a season under her belt, she has experience working with other queens, has confidence built from other queens. I am excited to see how she might spread her wings and how that's going to correlate to the Conehead wizard that she was at the Lollapalooza. So how unique is this going to get? Lydia Toot? Let's find out. Lydia King Toot is oh god. King Toot. Interesting. Anyway.
I am 1,000,000,000% here for Mistress Isabel Brooks. She is fantastic. She is brilliant. And one of the things that I think is that she is unapologetic. I don't know that every opinion she's ever had publicly is worth repeating, but one thing that I do appreciate is that she is ferocious. She is incredible. And for that reason, I think she is quite a talent.
I think of all the things that Mistress has, she really does have quite a lot of nerve.
It do take that. It do take that. And I think I consider it's so interesting because I think for me, when people discuss like what is charisma, what is nerve, and I understand that I'm using a little more of that in my decision making and less towards the challenges. I think that Mistress is more charismatic than Nerve, because a lot of what she does would make me dislike her, and yet I don't as much as I should. And so that's where she lands for me, is in charisma.
It do take nerve, as the recent winner of season 17 puts it. Mr. Isabel Brooks has the nerve to go all the way, just like she did last time. So I'm excited. I want her to do a roast. I just want to see what it's like. I want her to make people cry. I like it. It doesn't come near me, which is why I like it.
It's always nice to watch the hurricanes on the Weather Channel.
But I worry about people in those hurricanes. I do. And I enjoy the cattiness, but I think we've seen that from Mistress. It do take nerve, but it take a lot of things. And I think I would like to see Mistress's Harley Quinn arc and see her using her powers for good. This game is what we want to see from them. And I think I would like to see a little bit more charisma from Mistress. Something in the girl group arena. See her working with other girls. And also, she's such a talent. That clip they showed of her in her package, she was really funny in the acting challenge. So I'd like to see more of that from her.
You know, and it's so interesting. You know, earlier, Kevo, you said that our first pork chop was Irene. So I guess Mistress was our first ongoing villain. And
yes,
because of the way we watched things kind of out of order, Nicole Paige Brooks is not a presence in a lot of ways, just by nature of the way we watched the show. If I have an excitement for Nicole, it's that I think she is just like Phoenix. She is a blank slate for the whole world. And for that reason, I'm going to give her that recognition of talent where I want to see what she's got.
For Nicole, I went with actually charisma. She was an early one for me that I noticed had an it factor, had a je ne sais quoi. And I felt like the audience really connected with her kind of state of chillness and normalcy compared to the rest of the people on her season. Again, it was just malicious gay faggotry I didn't expect we were going to be seeing here. It was such a good line and just kind of so spoke to the fact that she wasn't really here for the same type of drama as everybody else. I think that's really entertaining, of course, and it's a big part of the show, but having queens that aren't always about that is pretty fantastic. And I don't know, she just she gives a little bit of like Southern sweetheart vibe. So charisma for me.
I also put her in charisma. I think that there's something about her that keeps bringing people back. You know, I think that when you just saying your name and location is a meme, I think that speaks to how you can really connect with the audience, particularly on such a short amount of episodes. And I love watching the old bitches come back and play with these new bitches. One of the best parts of All Stars 9 for me was seeing Chanel come in and go toe to toe with these gals and have them kind of shaken about it the whole time. I'm super excited to see that because I remember, I mean, Jessica Wilde had done a lip sync assassin position, but she wasn't really in the eye of everyone until she just took All Stars 8 by storm. And so I'm excited to see what she has to offer.
I put her in charisma. She's got it. Like TK said, she's got that certain something. I think she's hysterical. I love that she's being reintroduced to the fandom because her and Phoenix are a lot more old school, and they don't give two Fs about these little tweens tweeting at them. They will fight back, and it's truly it's F around and find out kind of moment, trying to come for mother here. So I adore her. I love that she looks like she has not aged a day. So I'm excited. I put her in charisma because I'm just so excited for people to see her again.
For me, this is another one that I'm going to err on the side of talent because there are so many things in talent that because it's been so long, I'm really excited to see her take on the updated forms of these things. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because that's also part of why I love seeing the old gals come back, is that it's a very, very different show. For all that it's the same, it's approached very differently now than it was back then. I mean, the difference from the fact that a lot of drag back in those early seasons was mall drag, and now it's very much like, if I see mall drag on this stage one more time,
now I see goddamn H&M.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's fun, and I think a lot of these girls now are TikTok girls. They're bedroom queens. They're social media queens. They might not have that community where you're long standing at a drag bar, where you're just like you're as ubiquitous as the drinks themselves. And I think that there's something to learn on each side of these, that bringing in these queens from long ago is most excellent.
Love it. And speaking of queens who are actually not from long ago, but when you're talking about girls that bring that sort of old school quality, Tina Burner is an old school girl from a new school season. I never really got Tina, I would say, during her season. I kind of even felt bad about it because, she's like very clearly like a standard New York girl, and that's my place. That's my business. And so like, I feel a little weird that I didn't get her until this particular round of like short clips. I feel a little bit more in tune with her. Number one, she's looking daddy. Number two, I just feel like, again, her confidence having gotten to be on the show instead of trying to prove herself on the show speaks volumes about somebody who understands the drag she can give a little bit better. For that reason, I am all about her charisma. I really, really locked in with this bit of her and was really excited to see where she's going to go from here.
I went with Nerve for Tina because she's always had that really forward, funny personality. She's always been game for a bit. I think, she wasn't always successful in comedy on her season, but I think she was always trying to go there and figure it out. She's a really hard worker. I think that's a big part of what Nerve is. And I'm just super excited to see what she has on this second round.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I feel like Tina Burner is it feels like there were a bunch of these New York queens that are also sort of around Bianca and Bob and Peppermint and like all of these things. And Tina Burner is like the last like kind of lock of that time. Jiggly was part of it as well. And so I'm excited to see what she brings. I had chosen talent for her because I'm very excited to see all of that. And I think that she has some really great things to bring us, because I do believe that Tina Burner feels like a person who, if she didn't think she had something to show, she wouldn't bother.
Right.
What did I put for Miss Turn It and Burn It? Oh, hold on.
I know. I was like, oh shit, gotta scroll.
It's making me. I put her in Nerve. I think she does take Nerve. She's a comedy queen from New York. Many of the comedy queens we've seen from the show. And I don't know if the specific season 13 challenges lended to Tina's showcasing in that regard. So I'm hoping a challenge more in line with what Nerve is will help get her, some praise she deserves.
NICO's pitch had really sold me on charisma, but I do want to see what she has in terms of comedy. So I think, I'm also going to go Nerve.
Acid Betty is a queen I didn't necessarily connect with in her original season. I think like season 8 is a sort of weird season for me for where I watched it in my run and what it already meant to the fandom. I think I have a very different take on it. I'm excited to get to know Acid Betty in a new way. I'm excited to get to see actually her uniqueness. I want to see what makes this sort of drag maybe a little bit more successful now than it was in season 8, or maybe not, but I'm very here for it.
Yeah, uniqueness all the way. I mean, what an incredible... I mean, it's talent to be able to present looks like this, but the looks themselves are unique. Betty's personality is right up my alley for most of the time, and then she goes overboard a little too much. But what I'm really hoping for this season is that she's reined some of that in and can be a character that we don't ever have to root against, who still brings insane, unique looks.
I think Tori might be frozen because she's not moving at all, and that's pretty.
She's just in a really zen state right now.
I just thought she was in a really zen state. I thought Janet had just gone in sleep mode. So
I think the crying angel statue has entered Tori's room and she can't move.
No, she can't blink. Okay.
While Tori gets herself together, Jonah, what are your thoughts on Acid Betty?
Acid Betty, the villain with a heart of gold. I adore this queen. She was somebody who's so fascinating because she, I think, was really meant to go a lot farther in season 8 than they wanted. And when they placed her in the bottom against Naomi, they were like, oh, we're probably going to send Naomi home here. Naomi doesn't really have much of a storyline, and Acid Betty's been a triple threat so far, being that she's been in the top so many times and she's been excelling. And then they sent her home, and it's like, damn. So I'm really excited to not only see her back, she is somebody who is, she's bizarre. Like, look at this outfit. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anybody do drag the way she does since her original season, and seeing her now. This is quite spectacular. She looks like an MMO boss. Like, it's cool. Her drag is cool.
In and out of drag, yeah.
Yes.
I also love that this looks like the Sea Monkeys from the 1990s Sea Monkeys show from Fox Kids Saturday mornings. Precursor to the Geico Cavemen. You kids are too young. Yeah. Oh, I normally had that Tory buffer, so I wasn't prepared to have to go on Acid Betty so quickly. Oh, right, and we're CUNT, because I was like, I guess I would want to see lip sync, because that's a -1. If she ranked so low on nerve, and she is someone who is known for her nerve, then I guess I would probably say that I want to see more from her on that front. And I think... Are you with us, Victoria?
I'm so sorry. Hotel Wi-Fi be hotel Wi-Fi.
It do.
I don't know when it cut me off, but I'm pretty sure it was before I started talking.
It is, in fact, before you began speaking.
Wonderful. Love that. We're on Acid Betty.
Acid Betty. Still, you're good to go.
Love her. Uniqueness. Felt the theme, and I remember really liking Acid Betty and being very, very excited about her in season 8, which is why I'm super amped for her in this. I don't remember her being mean, which is very odd because I remember a lot about queens that are mean. And so I might have to do some re-remembering of things, or I'm just going to come in as the happiest little, like, Acid Betty can do no wrong kind of person.
Yeah, that's fine too. Mm-hmm. Let that be.
Well, from Acid Betty to a queen who is, I feel like if Acid Betty is trying to represent everything punk and counterculture and even comes from that first half of Drag Race, Alyssa Hunter is in everything she does beauty and that second half of Drag Race. And, I love that she wore a jacket that said trade in a season with Denali. That is just not how that's gonna go. But no, she is so gorgeous, she's so beautiful.
Fight.
She is. And it's really funny. She's got 2 A's there because there's an A inside of the A. The A is hatching an A. It's adorable. No,
It's
Alyssa
an egg.
and she is lovely. I love getting to see queens for whom English is not their primary method of communication get another chance, because, like, frankly, one of the things that we have have a hard time discussing on this show is the subtle American xenophobia of fear of anything but English. And Alyssa got dinged for trouble with English, and that is simply unacceptable. And so it's really exciting to get to see her have another chance in a way that could possibly correct that incident.
She's one that I feel like I just didn't get the best measure of her on her season in terms of her uniqueness, nerve, or talent. But something that was pretty clear from the get-go was the charisma. Not just because she's a super gorgeous dude, but she just seemed to have a really winning personality. I would love to say talent, but I've never actually seen her play a guitar, so I can't really know. Maybe this season, though. So, charisma.
Yes, I had Alyssa down for charisma. I think that trade of the season thing is going to go really well. I think for me it was still very shocking that we were still in this kind of vibe of getting dinged for the language into season 14. When you're watching it happen to Jessica Wilde, you're watching it happen to Alexis Mateo and Yara Sofia, you're kind of like, well, this was 10 years ago. Like, I get it in that it's still not right, but you recognize that people grow. And I think that still seeing it in season 14, I mean, was a true moment where we had to kind of reconcile with these things. And so I'm very happy and excited to have her back in this. I know that she is one of those queens that other queens who don't fuck other queens kind of go, well, I mean, maybe if Alyssa's interested. So I'll be interested to see how this trade war goes down.
Trade war, I hate you.
You're welcome.
Well, speaking of a different kind of tariff, I'm going to rip off of that to talk
Terrific.
about how to put her in charisma. I think she is somebody who would be fun to like kiki and have fun with, but I still can't really ever get over that she tried to have a moment that Cornbread Jet had just moments prior with RuPaul, and RuPaul said, "No, you're going home. Bye." And I was like, "Oh, be nice, RuPaul. Be too nice here." So I'm excited to see her again. I want to see her perform. I want to see her dance. So make it happen, Alyssa.
I'm in love with Alyssa. I claim very few Drag Race brides, but I do compared to many people. Tori Pride claims the least. She's got her steadfast. But yeah, no. So this is I'm very interested to see how she's going to do this season. This costume, this Cask of Amontillado costume that she's got going here is very interesting. So maybe I want to wild out and say uniqueness because that garment is fascinating. Everyone else had charisma. Do I want to zig because everyone else zagged? I don't know. Yeah, why not?
Okay, cool. It's like you got to do one. I think that when we're talking about queens who have not necessarily a language barrier, but queens for whom language is a unique method of communication, it is so fascinating that Cynthia Lee Fontaine is who she is to this production, to this show. She is such a unique person, and I think that is what comes across so well. And so I wish I could give her uniqueness, but I don't really think that's who she is. I think for me, it actually is her nerve. It's the stuff that comes across in the improv when she's just being funny on the fly that makes me fall in love with her. But I'd love to hear what you guys think.
For me, I think it is uniqueness. Yeah, I'm right there with you. It's kind of a neck and neck thing, but like just how out there she is, but also really very sweet and brave. She is sometimes really funny and really on it, and other times she's just entirely in outer space, and it's not that you're laughing at her, but you are not laughing at her perfect execution of the prompt. You're laughing at this person that is just entirely marching to the beat of their own drum at all times, whether for good success in a challenge or to her detriment in a challenge. She can't stop talking about her cuckoo. Very, very funny to me at all times. And she's just got a great heart. So she really hits all of these, but ultimately I did go with uniqueness.
To touch back on the language conversation from Melissa, it's not even a language barrier thing. If she was speaking perfect English, it is the energy that she brings. It is the quirky energy that is so unique to who she is. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, one of my very best friends from college is one of these people where words and phrases are just sort of tangential to what the words and phrases they want to use. And it is a joy and a pleasure that I will defend to my dying breath. We may have created a Facebook group to categorize all of her Ashleyisms, but if anyone came for them, I'd kill them. And I feel kind of the same about Miss Cynthia. And one of the things about it is that I teetered between uniqueness and talent for her for a very long time. Because, yes, for me, the uniqueness is really there. I think there's just such a spark in that kind of, in that way where everything kind of starts so instantly bursting kind of way. But then I was like, I looked at what the talent challenges were, and I was like, she could crush that. She definitely crushed that. And I want to finally see her do Snatch Game. Right? Or did I also mistranspose that information as well? Because I am not quite a robot, but we'll be better. So I chose talent at the end of the day.
I am with you. I love me some Cuckoo. She is a bright joy. She honestly just brings a smile every time she's on the screen. I think she's hysterical. She's just someone who I think is one of the most naturally charming people in that regard. But I want to see talent. I want them to showcase Cuckoo in the best light possible. I want her. I don't know. She could kind of do everything. The fact that she's an opera singer and she hasn't gotten to sing opera yet, let her sing opera. We let Monet do it. Let her do it. And Saphira, let her do it too.
That's the next girl group.
Ooh. Instead of a rusical, opera.
Operetta.
Yeah. So I'd love that. Because she got the double talent from you guys. What?
You can double it. Rupo, the genetic opera.
Jesus. Because you guys gave her double talent, I'm going to go with charisma. Because I want to see some acting challenge. I want to see some girl group challenge. I want to see some things. Because I'm excited for what you guys are voting as well. I'm excited for all of it. There's so many things that I'm excited to see from this cast.
Yeah. I don't get Diabetes, but she's got a lot of nerve.
Yeah, I do feel like I get Diabetes, and I agree that she has a lot of nerve.
Yes, I feel like Diabetes and Acid Betty are going to be very interesting to see how they handle together. But I also put her in nerve because I remember her.
The Bettys, I'd rather the Veronicas.
Okay, but did I say this already last time that that's a girl group on Phineas and Ferb?
The Bettys.
Oh, you
Yeah.
went that far in differences.
Get ready for the Bettys, ready for the Bettys. So, yeah, I hope they show up in the new season so I have a new Bettys song to sing the same season that we have the Bettys, because that's my life. Jonah.
I love that both the Bettys are in the same group. No relation. I put her similar to Irene. I think she has a very punky, very different kind of style from what we see usually, typically for Drag Race. I like the way that she kind of comes up with things. I like her eye and I like her vision. So I'm excited. She's unique to me.
I think I was going to go unique, but I think I'm going to go talent because, you know, for all the nerve and all that good stuff, then I want to see her put all of that tood into something good. And so I would love to see what you can channel it into for a Snatch Game or a Rusical. So, talent. Let's see what you got.
I just want to see Denali in the finale. I think she's got charisma out the ice skates. I think she is beautiful, brilliant, amazing, and I just love her. And I think she is as charismatic as they come.
Yep, we're on the same page here. I mean, she is, to me, one of the iconic charisma girls.
Yes, I am desperately trying to find her teeny tiny little face on here. Got her. I also have her under talent. Denali is, if I'm gonna pick a favorite, it's gonna be Denali. Denali's the one I want to see win. Denali's the one I want to see in a short skirt on the runway. Denali's the one who just blows me away, and I am so amped. I think she is one of the smartest, most methodical, most aware queens that we've had, and I just adore it. So that's my favorite.
Move aside, it's your girl Denali. Cold aside, it's hotter than a tamale. Put her in talent because, Mama, I want that talent show number from her. I want everything from her. This is, like I said, if I had my way, my top three would be Olivia, Bosco, and Denali. And so, like, I would particularly want Bosco to win, but like if any of those if any of my other two girls win, I'd be very happy. So she is someone who I wish got the better love on season 13, but she's gotten the fan support. I love watching her ice skating videos, so I'm excited to. I hope she comes back and demolishes it.
I hope after they flooded the runway for the season 17 Meet the Queens that they then froze it for her talent show. That's all I hope in life.
Ooh, yeah. That would be especially interesting. Oh my god, there's so many levels on which it would be interesting to see that get to be her talent, from the fact that Lexi's thing was roller skates in 17, the water into being frozen. I love that. So poetic. It's poetry. It rhymes. Yeah, let's go with charisma. You know, it was exciting to see her back.
And I think she's an amazing queen, and I can't wait to see what she does. Speaking of a girl who has done so much, is amazing, I'm not here to say that I don't think there's room for more Ginger, but she has had a lot of run. I am very excited about Ginger being on this season, but I just don't know how much more she has to show, though. Hey, Robbie, so great to see you in the chat. We love you. So great to see Robbie. Big fan.
Woo.
So what'd she get? Where are you putting her?
You know, I didn't get there yet. I think I'm gonna give her talent because she's very talented.
Man, we're so in sync for these last few. I'm also going with talent. She's got all the other stuff. She's got all the other stuff, of course, but she has shown so many talents. She's a fantastic singer. She's good in an acting challenge, but she's also good in a stand-up challenge. She really can move. She can dance. So, you know, she'll display all of those things. She's got a lot of nerve. She is unique. She has a ton of charisma. Yeah, I don't this is she and Georges are the two where I'm like, if you guys want to be here, and they wanted you back, I'm not here to say don't do it. I maybe don't understand it the most, but it's not necessarily for me to understand, just to sit back and enjoy. So here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I put her under Nerve because if I'm gonna get Ginger Minge on my screen again, I want greatest hits, baby. I want to see her just excel. And so I chose Nerve because that's what I'm most excited for.
I gave her charisma mostly because I do think, when it comes to All-Star 6, I do think between Kylie, I think between that top 4, any of them could have been viable winners. I do think that was Ginger's strongest showcasing as of yet. So I'm excited to see if she can come back even stronger and better than what she was originally doing on All-Star 6. I think she's a fantastic lip syncer. I think she's a fantastic personality. Yeah, I chose charisma because I hope the world sees Ginger the way that I see Ginger.
I think it's very cool that she has nearly a full cunt. She's only missing that nerve. I also want to say this is the second girl from this season who in her confessionals looks like a neighbor on a 90s sitcom. In fact, she kind of looks like the couch from Roseanne. The glasses in that's very like modern Bruce Valanche too. So I am also going to go with charisma. I'd love to see her.
Old Lady Brigade.
Yeah, I'd love to see her be dueling neighbors with Deja now. That'd be hilarious. So yeah.
Man, I had such a great time running through these queens. I can't wait to see where it's going to go. We are just like 2 days away, or 9 days, whatever it is. Oh, it's so long now. Now it's 9 days. It's so here though, because like one of the things that I feel like we've talked about a lot is once it starts back up, it starts back up. And like we're almost here. I'm so ready to see it play out. All Stars tend to play out a little bit faster than regular seasons. And then it's the incredible international world tour of Drag Race versions. And I'm here for it. I feel like this is a lot of familiar girls. This is a lot of unfamiliar girls. But one of the things that I know is that this is going to be produced for the most entertainment value possible. And so I'm ready to see how this all goes and am grateful that it is 18 girls that I can see futures for. I can't think of a lot of girls that I can't from the franchise ever. Like not even to like, I'm not going to name names. Like not off the top of my head. I'm just sure statistically it exists, but like this has my attention.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I think it's a lot of queens. I think that there's some queen for everyone in this group, and I think that it's going to be so fun to spend time with each group and get to know these queens so specifically, because if we're also doing a 90-minute episode with just 6 girls, like we're gonna get to know these girls real well.
I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited for a format shakeup. I'm excited this is the 10th anniversary. Well, not really 10th anniversary, but you know what I mean. Of All Stars. I'm excited to see what they do. And I really hope that this also inspires them to make the show much more tempting for people to come back. I know that sometimes we don't see a lot of, big old fan requested queens to come back because All Stars just doesn't work out for them. It's especially if you do well, the chance to do worse, sometimes isn't worth the risk. But I do hope something like this can entice a little bit more people to want to come back, make it fun, make it interesting, give them like a really good reason, give them a standard amount of episodes to be like, you won't be eliminated. So this way part of your runway package doesn't feel wasted, especially if you spent 20, 30, 40, 50K on a runway package only to then go home first. So I am really hopeful and excited for this season in that regard of making Drag Race fun again for the girls.
I'm really curious about this format, though. Tori and I were discussing it at one point, and whether it's going to be 3-3-3. I had thought it was going to be 1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1. I thought we would get like each group's one episode, and then their second episode. But if it is mini seasons, that is going to be a very interesting thing as well. I think it is going to create an interesting way for people to be able to jump on mid-season. Every single new time they go back to a team will be a fresh starting point. You can jump back and catch up. This is such a unique experiment to be doing, and I love seeing that. For a 10th season, we were really disappointed by the hybridized 20th season All-Stars of Project Runway. So we're glad that they took a pause on that and are coming back to do something new there, because it's always better to try and do something new and refreshing. And that's what this is. So I'm excited.
And I cannot wait to come back and talk about all this. But until we do, Tori, I want to thank you so much. As you mentioned earlier, you're on location. And if they're not finding you on location, where can everybody find you?
You can find me online at SM Tori. That's Tori with an I.
Speaking of people who give great location, Jonah, I want to thank you so much for touring us around the phenomenal Philly drag scene lately. Gotten to see some unbelievable queens, incredible shows. And if they're not just checking you out in the Philly drag scene, where can everybody find you?
You can follow me places at Peak Jonah.
KEVO, you produced this show so well, so cool, so amazing. Thank you so much for making some of those graphics on the fly. That's amazing. Where can everybody find you custom making graphics as you go?
You can find me doing things for this channel. You can find me on socials asking me about the lovely things that I make for this show. You can find all the other things on the channel, but you can find me personally at KEVO Really. That's KEVO REALOY.
Hey, TK. It is unreal that you come out here and you do this show day after day when you are just so ready to break out and do your own Dragsona. I know you have your whole look prepared. You're going to be the first bearded queen to go all the way. It's going to be so stunning. Where can everybody find you while you're putting all this together, the most masked queen ever?
Well, I got to give it to Danny Beard first, but then I'd be the first American one.
Oh, wow. Somebody taking credit for that lately. Interesting.
Shoo. Anyway, you can find me places at TK Accidental. And last but never least, Mr. Man, Music Man. Tell us everything.
NICO Action, NICO-ACTION. You guys can find me all over the internet. Blue Sky here, I guess. But NICO Action Music, if you want to check out the songs, NICO Action Music, NICO-ACTION, MUSIC. But of course, all of the lovely channels of this show, that's HTML, Husbands Talking More or Less, X is for Show, X is for Podcast, and more. We love you guys. So please like, comment, and subscribe so we can engage with and interact with you, like our super fan Andrew in the audience. Of course, Robbie, former contributor, love to have you here, and all of our new friends that contributed as well. We loved your comments, even when they're correcting us, because we want to be right? So help us to be as right as possible. But 3 things you guys can do for yourselves. Number 1, we need you guys to stay safe. Crazy world out there. Number 2, we need you guys to be brave. Be yourselves. It's what we love. But number 3, evolve daily, because who you were yesterday, incredible. Who you are today, amazing. But who you are tomorrow, that's the dream. And until we get there, we can't wait to see you. So